Okay, getting to the very last stage here. So in this section, what I've done is I've inserted a video to be played by the end user. However, I want them to know that a video is coming up. And in, again, working with layers and the timeline, and for reasons that nobody wants to go into today, sometimes it's easier to just fake a first screen look, like I've done here, and also like I've done here, and have the user press a button that basically takes them to the next slide. So the user doesn't really know that that's what's happening. It doesn't feel that way. It looks like there's been a transparent box over the video, and that when I get to this stage, all of a sudden, ooh, I'm going to move forward. I click this button and then it transitions into the next, right? It isn't that, obviously, and so again, the next button here is deactive. I'll go ahead and delete that because it doesn't need to be there. So it's inactive, and what's happened here is that I've set up a trigger that the user gets to jump to the next slide when the user clicks picture 4. That's the only interactivity here. I have a video here. I have inserted video from file. This is a video that I created, and it will play at full screen, which is great. But in order to create this fake, which is, hey, video is about to play, are you ready? Are you ready? What I've done, see, it's the same. What I've done is I've right-clicked, and then I have gone to export frame as photo or as picture. So this enables you to essentially take whatever frame of the video that you have just selected and create a PNG of it, right? So I want this first frame to be a PNG. I've just like thrown it onto my desktop somewhere, frame 2. And then I've just inserted it up here as an image, frame 2 or fram 2 with my misspelling there. What I've done is I've added a rectangle over the top of it to give it kind of that opacity. I've chosen a color that was within the same kind of theme that we were working with, and format shape, I'm looking at 16%. I don't know, that felt right. But honestly, it could be lighter, it could be darker. It really doesn't matter a whole lot. That's more of an art, a gut feeling. But the whole thing is that I want the user to actually click this. So this is the first time I'm showing them a button like this. It's very obvious what I want them to do, but just in case, I've added a hover state. And so this brings us back to states and to objects and to just basically showing or giving any kind of visual cue that we possibly can to the end user that they can do a thing on the screen. So what's cool when you're working with Storyline is that these buttons that you can create, and which I've used when it comes to back and next, they have a bunch of pre-built-in states to them. So I'm going to come up here to button, just add a button here. You can see down below, do you see all of these things? Just they come with states already made. You can come up here to button styles and they'll all change. Let's call this button. Maybe I want a hover state though to be a different color, so I'll double click and I'll make it red, right? However, in this case, I've created my own button with an object, and when I've done that, it doesn't automatically have those states built in. But I did that through clicking Insert, picking an icon up here, as I've done with a lot of these. So I'm just going to pick this guy or person, and this is how you would add a state to something that isn't, defaulted. So here this person is. Sometimes you click fill and sometimes you click outline. It's pretty weird, honestly. Like, it isn't consistent, but mostly it's fill if you want to change the color, which is great. But I'm going to come to states. This thing are obviously, what? Oh, great. It's a multi-pieced thing. I'm going to pick a different thing. Come up here to icon. I'm just going to click tree. This seems uniform, and you can see here it is. Uniform, we have just the one normal state there. Great. So I'll fill it with a, very appropriate salmon peach. But I want to add a state. So if I want to add a state, I can come up here to edit states and then add a new state. And it has some options for you, like some pretty standard things. Usually what I'll do is hover, right? So then you'll click hover. And when this is actually highlighted, that's when you have the ability to do whatever you want to it to make it like to give the effect of the state that you're going for. So there are many things that you can do. I would say you have to play around and figure out what works for you. You can give it an outline if you want, right? So as you go back and forth, you can see what that actually looks like in theory. There we go. I don't love that, so I'm going to go no outline. You could give it a shadow if you want. Again, shadows are becoming cool again, I hear. That looks okay, right? But what I'm working with is I've got this, well, you can see what I've done, but I have a button down here that's on a pretty dark background. And what I want to make sure is that it can pop no matter what it is. So what I've actually done is I've done shape effect and I did glow. And you can hover over each of these and see what they look like. I like glow. I actually might like that even better than what I had selected. I just think that looks really nice. A little bit more diffused there. And this is pulling from your accent colors. So I'm going to delete that. I like that. I don't know, actually. That might be a little much. Let's see. Glow. Let's tone it down a little. Okay, I like that. I'm going to come up here to preview this slide. Oh no. What did I do? Okay, a little bug testing. I was actually in normal state when I changed that. So I'm going to come up here to normal and I'm going to come over here to glow and click no glow. Done. I wanted to click the hover state. So be careful. That's a very valuable lesson there. Make sure that you double click to select the state that you actually want to work with. So I'm going to come over here to glow again. I liked that white. I do want it. It is on hover. Done. And just to be sure, normal looks normal. Okay, great. See, this is a good reason to just continuously bug test and QA as you're going through your work. So that looks really nice. Great. I've got very clear instructions. And then also, right? Looks good. Plus I have my little pointer finger that tells me I can take action. Again, what this is actually going to do is it's going to take me to the next slide. In preview mode, you can only do slide or scene. So well, I guess you can do selected slides. Oh, that's kind of cool. I'm learning a lot. I guess you can do a couple of slides. So I'm going to select these two slides and preview them together. Selected slides. Let's see what that looks like. Great. Click this.
It was the night before Christmas. When
Storyline just keeps coming out with better and better updates. That's a new feature. I love that. That would also work really nicely up here, right? If we wanted to only look at those two.